This is Mr. Ben Olepol. Please keep your microphone mute so that we don't disorganize us. So this is Teacher Ben. I'm going to be teaching integrated science. Last week we started with the flowering plants, that is plant life in primary 4. So briefly, we shall need to know what flowering plants are. For those who do not know, this is the academic network. We are offering 3 lessons to learners, to all learners. So make sure if you're going to speak, when I ask any question, raise up your hand. There is a button you can tap and raise up your hand. And then we move faster, faster. So this is about Yaka. You will go through it later when you have your time, because I will send you this work accompanied by the notes that we shall be looking at. So last time we discussed about plants. To give the groups of plants. We also gave the meaning of the word plants. So today we are not going to repeat that. But before we look at what we intend to look at today, I want someone to tell us the groups of plants. The groups of plants that we have. Because we said the other day that we have around 2 different groups of plants. I need someone to tell us the groups of plants by show of hands. Groups of plants. If you need the answer, you can just raise up your hand. We have the groups of plants. Yes, Lena? You unmute, then you speak. Lena? I see your hand up.
Flowering plants.
Good. We have flowering plants. Happy, can you tell us the other one?
Non-flowering plants.
Good, we have non-flowering plants. So last week we discussed about non-flowering plants. Briefly, before we look at what we want to talk about today, who can tell us what non-flowering plants are? Let me hear from Nasha. What are non-flowering plants?
Non-flowering plants are plants which do not produce flowers.
Which do not produce flowers. Good. Can we move on and look at the examples? Can we give the examples of these non-flowering plants?
Online lesson.
Someone is in ITEL 14, please. Please unmute your microphone.
Just a lesson.
Okay. Now let's move on. So I was asking for the examples of non-flowering plants. Let me start with the Harmony. Can you tell us one? One example of a non-flowering plant. Yes, Harmony?
Mushroom.
Come again?
Mushroom.
Okay. Okay, let me ask Norman. Norman, can you tell us one example of a non-flowering plant?
Onion.
No, onions is not under non-flowering plants. Last week we discussed about this. Let me hear from people who attended. Kirsten, one example of non-flowering plant.
Pine.
Correct. We have pines. Correct.
Moses.
Moses is also correct, but you can tell us only one. Others can be told us to by other people. Okay, so let's move on to what we intend to look at today. Today, we are going to look at the flowering plants. Flowering plants. What are flowering plants? Today we intend to look at flowering plants. What are flowering plants? I see 3 hands up, but let me give this chance to Elisheba. What are flowering plants?
Flowering plants are plants which bear flowers.
Come again?
Flowering plants are plants which bear flowers.
Correct. Flowering plants are plants which bear flowers. This is exactly what I said, that flowering plants are plants that bear flowers. If you cannot use the word bear, simply use the word produce. Flowering plants are plants that produce flowers. As simple as that. So let's move on to the next thing, and that is examples of flowering plants. Examples of flowering plants. You make sure you follow the work in the screen, in your screen. We are looking at examples of flowering plants. 5 people have raised their hands up already, and I will give them chance to give us the answers. Examples of flowering plants. At least when you raise your hand, it will help me to know that you want to give us the answer. If I have not chosen you, don't speak. Yes, let me start with Jemima. Jemima, can you tell us one?
Mango plants.
Correct. We have the mango plant. Stacy?
Apple plants.
Correct. Nasha?
Avocado plant.
Avocado plant. We have avocado plant. When we say avocado, it will make us to spell it in the wrong way. It is avocado plant. Avocado plant. That is correct. Another one, we have fire tablet. Someone using the tablet, fire tablet. Please speak to us.
Cassava plant.
Cassava plant, correct. Lina? Lina?
Purple plant.
The purple plant is correct. Make sure you wait until I call your name. Chris Valentine, can you tell us one?
Banana plant.
Banana plant, all those plants that bear. Please wait for me to ask you. Before you tell it also. Let's continue. These are the examples. Okay, so my internet is a little bit shaky today. However, I'm already back. So let's continue with the examples of non-flowering plants. Let's continue with the examples of the non-flowering, not none, but flowering plants. These are the examples that we are continuing with. And I had showed you one, and that is mangoes. Someone told us that it is mangoes, which is correct. We also have this one. Let me ask Lina, can you read first that one? Yes, Lina?
Cotton. Cotton.
That is cotton, correct? We have this one. Dennis, can you read first this? Dennis is not speaking.
Maize.
That is maize. Norman, can you read for this?
Mangoes. Oranges.
Oranges, correct. Nasha, can you read for that?
Purple.
Apples, correct. Someone using Galaxy, can you read for that? You need to save your name so that
Jackfruit.
we have the jackfruit, correct. Let's move on to the next. Who is able to see that? Fire tablet. We have not heard you. Yes, Lina. That is peace. As simple as that. So these are the different examples of flowering plants. That flowering plants are plants that I'm speaking, but I can give it to Jemima. Yes, Jemima. Read first that point. Come again.
Coffee.
Number 8. Read first. Number 8 is coffee.
Coffee.
As simple as that. That is correct. That is correct. So we also need to move on and look at the structure of a flowering plant. We have all seen plants in the environment. When you get out of your house right now, you will be seeing plants everywhere. When you look at those plants, they have different parts. When you look at a plant has got two systems. A plant has two systems. A plant has two systems. Each of those systems contains its own parts. A plant has two systems. So we are going to look at the structure of a flowering plant. But before we look at the structure, I want someone to tell us, I want you to tell me the parts that are found in a flowering plant. Parts that are found in a flowering plant. For this case, write in the chat. For this case, write in the chat faster. Then I'll read your answers from the chat. You just write in the chat. Parts of a flowering plant. Just write in the chat and then I'll be able to correct. Nasha said fruits. That is correct. Valentine has said anthers. That is a part of a flower, though it is also found in a plant. Dennis has given us a system, that shoot system. That one is it is a system, not a part. Harmony has said flowers, a flower, it is correct. Dennis has said leaves, it is correct. Nasha has said another one, that is flowers, it is correct. Elisheva has said leaves, stems, branches, fruits, it is correct. Petals are found in a flower. Roots, that's true, that is from Harmony. And then Norman has also said that we have the stem. That is correct. So let's move on and have a look at this, what we are talking about. Let's move on and look at what we are talking structure of a flowering plant. You will draw it in your book later. We shall have that time. So this is our structure of a flowering plant. Everybody is able to see. Most of you said, mention the flower as one of the part, and we are clearly seeing it here. This is the flower. This is the flower. And then this is the fruit. This is the fruit. Another fruit is this side. This is the stem, as you can see. This is the stem. I will send you this work. You may not even draw it now, but you'll draw it later when you have enough time. I will send it through WhatsApp, then you get the phone, and then you copy from WhatsApp in your WhatsApp group. This is a stem. It doesn't matter that it is not a must that in examination that they will point this very part. Another time they can point this part here, down here. What you need to understand is that is a stem. So this stem is the one that it grows into a tree trunk. Tree trunk. The one which is big, old, rough, that one is called a trunk. Tree trunk or stem. As simple as that. Then we move on. We have the leaf. Leaf. These leaves are green. When you look outside there, you will see leaves, green leaves. The reason why those leaves are green, it's because they have chlorophyll. It's because they have chlorophyll. And it is that chlorophyll that helps these plants to make their own food. So all the green plants that you see in the environment, those plants are able to make their own food with the help of the sunshine, with the help of the sunlight energy they get from the sun. So when we continue, we shall look at the process by which plants are able to make their own food when we continue. But for now, we shall not go in detail for that. We shall look at the process, how plants are able to make their own food. Is someone using Galaxy? Just to help you to mute, because those who are speaking, when I'm also speaking, it means I will have to mute you. So make sure if you want to speak something, just mute your microphone so that you won't hear. Okay, so I was talking about the leaves. The leaves are green. The reason why they are green, it's because they have chlorophyll. And because of the presence of chlorophyll in that leaf is able to make its own food for the plant to live. It is able to make, it is the leaves that enable the plant to make its own food. It is not like animals. Animals get their food from plants and the other animals. But for plants, they make it.
Talk to teacher.
Teacher, I'm not seeing the work.
The help of chlorophyll.
I'm not seeing anything on my screen.
So the plant is able to breathe with the help of, the leaves. There are small openings that are found in a leaf. When you look at that leaf critically, there are small openings that are found on a leaf. So that those small openings are the ones we call stomata. When we continue, because we shall be looking at these parts of a plant one by one. One by one. Using this leaf, we shall look at leaves. We shall look at stems. We shall look at fruits. We shall look at flowers until we finish fruits, until we finish all these parts of a plant. And then we shall now say that we have finished learning about flowering plants. As simple as that. So other things, we shall discuss them later. When you look at these parts, there are also parts like node, because sometimes they can ask you, what is the use of a node? What is the use of a node? What is the use of a node? So I see somebody's hand up. I don't know if Fire Tablet wants to say something. Please, you can go on. What is the use of a node? Oh, he has lowered his hand up. Okay. So when you look at the node, that is the part.
I've heard it.
That is the part that joins a leaf to a branch. As you can see this part, it is the part that joins a leaf to the plant. That is the part we call node. Then the internode, as you can see, you have marked from here up to here. That part there is internal. You have to be following through your screen. Following my cursor here. It can be this part here. They can mark this part here. It can be that. So,
excuse me, how come none of us can see anything on the screen?
Sorry? How comes?
How comes none of us can see anything on the screen?
We can't see.
Yeah, so there is nobody able to see this my screen.
I can see it.
We can see it. Maybe you can stop sharing and share again.
I can see. I can see it. I can see it.
Teacher, I can see it.
I can see it.
So
I can see it. I can
Galaxy.
see it.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Galaxy.
I can.
Genesis 6, David Costly.
Teacher. Teacher.
Yes.
We cannot see the screen.
Okay, let me stop sharing and then I reshare again. Then you wait. Okay. Okay, let's continue. So I was talking about this. Okay, that's good. So I was talking about this part here, internal. In physics, they like asking it so much. What is the use of the internode? What is the use of the node? But in P4, we always ask this. We always ask these other ones, the leaves, the stems, and so on and flowers. But in P6, we also ask internode and the node plus the bud. So you need to know the meanings of these different words, because we shall learn again flowering plants. 6. As simple as that. So Trevor, please keep your microphone mute because you are speaking. Keep it mute as long as I have not asked you to speak. So this is a plant and these are the parts. So I was telling you that a plant consists of 2 parts. A plant consists of 2 parts or 2 systems. Usually in examination, they will say, give any one system of a plant. But there are two systems. So if they ask for any one, you have to give one. That you know. So I want to see Happy. Can you tell us one? Happy? Tell us one system of a plant.
System.
Come again.
System. Shoot system.
Correct. That is correct. Elisheba, can you tell us another one?
Root system.
Good. We have the shoot system and then the root system. The shoot system and then the root system. So this is the plant. This is the plant. When we continue, we shall look at the roots in detail. So let's move on. Let's move on and look at another thing. That is the systems of a plant, which we have already mentioned. We have said that there are two systems of a plant. That is the shoot system and then the root system. The shoot system and then the root system, as simple as that. So we shall be looking at these systems one by one. So what is the shoot system? If I may ask, what is the system?
Sorry.
What,
2.
what is the shoot system? Yes, Happy?
This is the part above the ground.
This is the part of the plant above the ground. That's good. The answer is correct. Part of the plant that grows above the ground. That is very correct. Now let's move on to look at those parts specifically, the parts of a plant that grow above the ground. Those parts that grow above the ground. Can we put the answers in the chat? Parts of a plant that grow above the ground. Let's put our answers in the chat. Then I can read from there. Put your answers in the chat. We have Nasha flowers that grow above the ground. Yes, Galaxy node, correct. Lina has talked about many, very many. Nasha branches, correct. Elisheba node, internode, correct. Harmony has talked about flowers, fruits. It is correct. Georgina, correct. Harmony, there are very many. Let me check right away from here. Norman said leaves. Katana Tracy said leaves. Nasha again said leaves. It is correct. Then we have Elisheba said branches, leaves, fruit, bud. It is correct. Happy flowers, but she has not spelled the word flowers very well. Please spell it well because you lose a mark if you don't spell it well. Then Harmony also said fruits and flowers. Is it correct? And Georgina said the stem. Is it correct? Nasha node, correct. Jemima fruits. Harmony stem, and so many others. Everybody was able to mention the parts of the shoot system.
Teacher.
Yes?
Teacher. I cannot see the,
Yes,
the
please.
screen. I cannot see the screen.
That is Michelle. Is it who is
Michaela.
speaking?
Michaela.
Hey, okay. Oh, sorry. You can't see the screen? Okay, let me reshare again. me stop sharing and then share again. So we are talking about the parts of a shoot system, and we say that the shoot system is a system of a plant that grows above the ground, and that specific part develops from the plumule of a seed. When we continue, we shall look at a seed and we shall look at parts of a seed, and you will get to realize that there is a part called plumule which develops into the shoot system. It is that part of the plumule that develops into the shoot system. Then there is a part which is called radicle. It is that part that develops into the root system. The radicle develops into the root system. As simple as that. So this is what you need to know about the shoot system. We need to now look at the parts that you've already listed down. Let's take a look at these parts. Parts of the shoot system. They are here. You talked about leaves, the fruits. We shall look at all these things one by one. A fruit also, we shall look at the fruit. We shall also look at the terminal bud is that part which develops, the tip of the plant, the small tip which grows into another plant. As the plant is growing, that one is called terminal bud. Then the one which grows from the sides, that one is called the axillary bud. The one that grows from the sides of a plant is called the axillary bud. If I can take you back to that plant we had. So the one which develops from here is usually called the axillary bud or bud. This one here. Because it will develop into a new branch. That one is called the axillary bud. Then the one which grows on top from here. Usually if this was not this one here, this one is the one we call the tip, which is the terminal bud. Usually, it is the terminal bud. Then this is the axillary bud, the internode, like that. So let's continue with what we are doing. The shoot system, the system of the plant that grows above the ground. We have the parts, which you've already mentioned. So these are the parts. In P6, we shall look at the types of fruits. Types of fruits. Where we shall have the succulent fruits and then the dry fruits. Succulent fruits and dry fruits. That will be P6. So we also talked about stems, flowers, and then the internode. As simple. So these are some of the parts of the plant that we talked about. So you need to check this spelling of the axillary bud is supposed to be, doesn't need, there's no, we don't have U there. So when you're writing, you shouldn't include U, because that is a wrong spelling. If you include U, it becomes a wrong spelling. We don't have that one like that. We don't have that one. I'm going to correct when I'll be sending that. Okay, let's move on. So let's talk about, there is something that we shall be looking at, the activity. We have already come to the end, but we need to look at these few questions that we shall do. And the first question is that, Jogina, can you read for us that question? Can you read for us that question? Oh, she has gone out. Michaela, can you read for us that question?
What are flowering plants?
What are flowering plants? Good, you will answer in your book. You also have this one. Norman, can you read for us this one? Norman is not speaking. Yes, Norman. Yes, Harmony, can you read for that one? You first unmute, then you speak. Oh, she's not able to speak. Galaxy, can you read for this question? Question 2.
State any 2 examples of flowering plants.
Good. Harmony, read for that question. Okay, Happy.
How is the propagation of beans similar to that of seed?
How is the propagation of beans similar to that of cedar? A cedar is a non-flowering plant. It is a non-flowering plant and a conifers. How are they similar? We say that non-flowering plants are divided into 2. We have the spore-producing plants and then the conifers. So with the spore-producing plants, these ones reproduce by means of spores. Then for the case of the conifers reproduce by means of seeds. That's why here they are asking us how the propagation. How would you answer now that question? Having known that the beans does reproduce means of seeds. So the word propagation is simply reproduction. So you can simply say that beans are propagated of seeds, while cedar is also propagated by means of seeds. So now since they are asking for the similarity here, how are you going to give the answer? I want someone to tell us this, and that should be Nasha. How is the propagation of beans similar to that of cedar? Having known that, I followed that explanation. Nasha, tell us that answer.
They are all propagated using seeds.
They are?
All propagated using seeds.
They are all propagated using seeds, and that is the Norman has said, but I'd asked Nasha. I hope she had the same answer. Okay. So let's move on. The answer is correct. Both are propagated by means of seeds. You can actually say both beans and the cedar are propagated using seeds. That is a complete answer. Both beans and cedar are propagated using seeds. As simple as that. So let's move on. So next time they may not use the word beans, they can decide to use maize. How is the propagation of maize similar to that of pines? Someone to tell us this answer. How is the propagation of maize similar to that of pines? Similar to that of pines. Yes, Masha, this time you can give us this one since you didn't tell us the other one. Or any other person who knows the answer. Okay, so there is no difference between the two questions. There is no difference between the two questions. No difference at all. Let me hear from.
Both
Come again. Elisheva? You've been breaking. Can you repeat your answer?
Pines and maize, they are both propagated by seeds.
By means of seeds. The answer is correct, but you have to correct the grammar, the English. Instead of saying they, beans and then pines are both propagated, you have to just say, start with both. Both maize and pines are propagated using seeds. As simple as that. Both maize and pines are propagated using seeds. And the answer is correct. As simple as that. So this is what you need to know. And those are the questions that we always ask in your examination. So you just need to know. And then there is this question. Galaxy, can you read for that question?
Name the system of the plant.
Name the system of the plant that grows above the ground. The answer is correct. Simple as that. So we discussed the question correct. We discussed that. So I expect everybody to be knowing the answer. Elisheba, read for this next question.
How do flowering plants reproduce?
How do flowering plants reproduce? As simple as that. So this is what we wanted to talk about today. Wanted to talk about flowering plants, and we said that flowering plants are plants that bear flowers. Or if you don't want to say like that, you can say flowering plants are plants that reproduce by means of seeds. But usually, when you look at even pines also reproduce by means of seeds. So that's why sometimes we disqualify that answer. So you must be strict and say flowering plants are plants that bear flowers. As simple as that. That bear flowers, so that nobody will doubt your answer. Then there are very many examples of flowering plants in the environment. You know them. And then these other questions come in. How is the propagation of this and this, like that? And then that. So that is what we wanted to discuss today. The systems of a flowering plant. We say there are two systems of a flowering plant. And that is the shoot system and then the root system. Simple. Lastly, we have just discussed the parts of a shoot system. Tomorrow, when we continue, we shall look at the root system and all its parts. If you can access this work in the website, we have the work well arranged there that you can do. You can read, even when I'm not there, you can get the work and then you read so that by the time you come here, you know what we are going to discuss. Everything. So find ways of getting that work. So I want to thank everybody for active participation and then everything. But Nasha's hand is up. Let me hear from her. Yes, please.
Excuse me, teacher, I cannot access the P4 website anymore.
You can't access?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. We are going to sort it. Our Mr. Kakuru Bena will raise you, and then all that issue will be sorted. We shall sort it today so that you can access the website to prepare yourself. And then I see Lina's hand up. Yes, please. Oh, she's not intending to speak. So if there is any question, you can ask. If there is any question, you can ask. If there is no question,
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
May you send me work for the non-flowering plants?
For?
Non-flowering plants. I didn't attend.
Okay. We'll see what to do. I think that work is in the group, in the WhatsApp group. I don't know if you'll be able to access it.
Teacher
Yes,
Ben, can I talk to Nash?
Okay, you can speak to her.